There's an art to noticing what many struggle to see. And when my son and daughter were 9 and 7 years old, I had a chance to take them to the Hirshhorn Museum of Art in Washington, D.C., which sits adjacent to the Smithsonian Museums off the National Mall. And at the beginning of our visit, we encountered a separate exhibition containing random objects. And the floor was filled with things like vacuum cleaners and piles of rope and pairs of tattered boots and even kitchen sinks. And I laughed as I tried to explain to my children that we didn't walk into a storage room, but indeed an art installation designed to help us experience ordinary objects in a gallery space. The rest of the Hirshhorn features a circular rotunda where patrons can walk along walls of art in a continuous descent. Later in our visit, we came across a Kandinsky and some Rothkos. I remember pointing out vibrant colors and shapes and asking my daughter to tell me what she saw in the paintings as she read aloud some of the titles. And then I looked over, and just past a wall of Warhols, I noticed my son had wandered over to a longer blank wall stretching to the next set of paintings. And then I realized that he was staring at a ventilation grate in the center of the space, painted the same color as the wall, white on white. I walked over and he scratched his red hair, and with a big smile he turned to me and said, "Who did this one, Dad? There's no label." Yes, there is indeed more to notice if we stop to look. I was reminded recently of a quote by the 19th century novelist D.H. Lawrence, who wrote that an act of pure attention, if we're capable of it, will bring its own answer. And when we walk those rather uninvited halls that require resilience, we may not always pay attention to the confident brushstrokes that we may need to paint to find our way out. But man, we are very capable of letting our thoughts focus on the often familiar negative tones of circumstance those halls display. As caregivers, this leaves us feeling bewildered as we wander around aimlessly, losing sight of the hard work we've already done. And although I struggle too with being distracted by canvases filled with negative noise, I'm noticing that when we devote our full attention to what often goes unnoticed inside of us, and are grateful for those qualities that illuminate our relationships, the answer to what works is often found in our ability to pause and appreciate what others might normally walk by. It makes sense to stop and take a longer look around your own museum and notice those creative inner works, your own capabilities, both common and uncommon, that are artfully present inside of you.